Alright guys, so another image sent in for us to edit, and this one's from Justin. So I'll be linking all of his stuff because he's got some pretty awesome work. I really have a soft spot for warm tones, and I really like how he's using the mix between really cool tones with really warm tones. So I really like this. In his recent photos, he's really making certain colors pop. And yeah, an average amount of fade, whites are kept pretty low. And yeah, let's get into Lightroom. Make sure you go give him a follow. Everything will be in the description. Let's get into it. Okay, so here's his image he sent us. And as you can see, we've got those warm tones, those warm greens, a little bit of coolness in the shadows up there, and a pretty decent amount of fade in those blacks and shadows. So first thing that you would want to do is add in some warmth, obviously, to help with those warm tones. So about 400, and then I'm just going to bump up exposure a tad, increase the contrast, shadows all the way up, whites I'm going to bring down, and blacks about there. So we've added in a lot of contrast, but we're going to bring a lot of that contrast back out with the curves and maybe a filter. And we're going to drop saturation by quite a bit. And tone curve, so obviously we want our fade in the blacks and shadows. Okay, so that's tone curve done. As you can see, fade and dropping those whites by quite a bit. Coming down, just going to switch on profile corrections and remove chromatic aberration. So onto our colors, shifting the reds towards the orange. As you can see, we've got no greens in our greens, so bringing the greens all the way across. We want a few more teals, so slightly across. And not too much going on in the purple and magentas. Saturation, so gonna bring orange up quite a bit. We want that to be a real dominant color. Yellow, stay about there. Green's definitely coming down. Same with aqua. And a lot of blue. Alright, so coming on down to luminance, I'm going to brighten a lot of these up, maybe except for red, but bringing orange up a lot, some yellows, greens, and aquas. Can't see a lot of them. Now, so onto split toning. As you can see, we've got a really warm image, and it doesn't look quite natural when you've got a completely warm image. So you want color contrast, and by getting that, we're going to leave our warm tones in the highlights and put some cool tones in the shadows, and that will look much more natural. So the opposite to orange or warm colors is blue. And we're obviously really dark up here, so that's been brought out with the filter, and I'm sort of just concentrating on the rest of the image. Coming down, let's play around with a little vignette. And okay, so we need to really bring out the other half of this image. Grab your filter. Okay, so quite a bit of exposure. And when you bring up exposure, you generally want to bring up contrast, otherwise it's going to look flat. Highlights all the way up. And then just soften up that light. And I think there's one more thing that it needs, and it's a little bit more blue in those shadows. And then when you do that, you most likely have to add more warmth in, or increase your oranges. I think that looks a little bit better. So there's our before and after, looking pretty similar. I'll leave it there, guys. Thanks for watching. Comment down below if you're liking these tutorials. Go give them a follow on Instagram. All those links will be in the description. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.